Okay, we're here at the U residence. He's given us full approval to design and install the yard. He decided to go with our company. Are you excited?
Yes.
It's gonna be beautiful.
All right, let's get this thing started, guys.
Let's go. Nice. All right, this is the U project. On this picture here, the house hasn't even been built yet, but we actually just measured it up, and I just put together a preliminary design that we're really excited about. Here, this darker line around the edge is the exterior of the house, and it's got a nice big yard. It's got a view in the back. They wanted a putting green, so I added some really cool features here in the yard. Right here, we're gonna do a nice big barbecue island. It's gonna be fantastic because they have a door that comes right out of the kitchen right here. So they'll be able to go to the barbecue, people will be able to sit right over here on the other side. And then this whole area on the interior is a courtyard. And they have windows on all directions that view this area and out towards the pool. So what we did is we put the spa inside of their courtyard, which is something unique that, you know, most people don't have that big of an area where you can actually fit all those things in. And we've also got a wet deck. It's almost like a little mini river that runs from where the spa is all the way out to where the pool is. And in that wet deck, we're going to be putting some bubblers in there, and they're LED light bubblers, which is just, I mean, it's like the casinos have stuff like that. I can't wait to get started on this project. I think it's just going to be fantastic.
From the corner of the house this way? Okay. From right here, Johnny, you thinking? Yeah. I mean, we can just basically...
Okay, so the lines that they're spraying out right now, we did a general one to begin with, just to kind of get a feel for it. It's not precise until they actually lay out the pins and do the string lines and things like that. So right now they're still just trying to get a feel for where everything kind of fits, and then they'll lay out a string line, they'll do levels, and just make sure everything's perfect. But right now they're just trying to see if there's any little tweaks or things that we have to change because of the construction of the house might have changed slightly when they were building it from the plans that they give us initially. So.
Repair the wall, but this is the best place to go through. The spa will be here. It'll flow over. This will all be wet deck. So that way if you're walking here, you can actually step down into the pool and you're in the water right here. Then you can sit and spin and get in your spa. Or, you know, if you're enjoying the day, you can walk right out here. This is the part where we had to extend that measurement a little bit, so we just lengthened this. We put some steps in right here so he can just walk right into his pool, jump in or dive in, and then there'll be two nice walk pots on each side there. And then this will pop out a little bit to frame the pool and frame this center wet deck. And then the plumbing is all trenched out. It'll go around to that side. And the equipment will be on that side. So the next phase will be the plumbing on this job. Yeah, we got to come through stuff like that all the time.
Oh, look at all like the different little veins in here.
Yeah, watch your finger.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think there's a little piece of leverite right there.
Yeah. Look at that. You can see where
that's
the
good
tractor
stuff.
just whack.
Look at that. I think you could do that. Leverite.
Yeah.
You know what that stands for?
Just leave it, all right?
Now leave it right there. It's not worth.
Another long week. We got a lot done, brother. Good stuff.
We did. And then look, we got the big guys out here.
Dap it, dap it.
Oh, you want to dap?
Yeah.
You're sure you want to dap?
It's hot, huh?
All right.
Let's get out of here.
I love to tease them at the end of the week.
All right, so the U residents, they just finished the plumbing, Johnny.
All right.
So let's walk the yard, make sure we got the equipment in the right place.
Okay.
And then we'll come through here and let's just kind of talk about all of the different things we're going to be doing, make sure we got the grading right.
Yeah, make sure all the drainage is correct and everything like that.
Yeah, this right here, we got a courtyard. So it's going to drain into the wet deck on this pool. So we did that overflow. So this way when the pool fills up, if it's pouring down rain.
Pipe over here, yeah, it'll run down over here into the washout.
Correct. So let's go walk the yard. Oh, dude, I got brand new shoes on.
Oh, you should wear your construction shoes, man. What are you doing?
Why are you walking in front of me? You're taller.
What are you talking about?
You can't see me back here.
Well,
this is not good.
you can see the sides of you, not the top of you, though. Equipment looks good.
Equipment's good.
Gas lines are in. Valves are in.
Yeah.
Autofill is in right here.
Yeah. So we brought you out to this project today because we installed this Pentair setup 10 years ago. We wanted to show you the longevity of the Pentair setup, the heaters, the filter, the pump, the control boards. Everything here has been here for 10 years. It's been out right here in the elements. And as you can see, if you look at each item, it's holding up extremely well. We haven't had to replace any of it. The interface works good. I mean, everything's great. As far as Pentair, the longevity, what do you think, John?
I think it's just fantastic. We've never had any issues with it. Their warranty system is just fantastic. Everything moves along very quickly. What do you think, Noah?
I think Pentair is definitely unmatched. Everything that they put out for residential is the same quality as commercial stuff. It lasts long, the warranty's easy to use, the install is amazing. It's foolproof. They give you everything that you need to make sure it's done right.
And that's coming from Noah, who is actually our director of plumbing. He came straight out of the Marines, how many years ago?
About 5.
About 5 years ago. He knew nothing about plumbing. He came onto the team, he learned from the bottom. He learned how to install all this stuff hands-on. He is now the leader of our team. He knows everything, inwards and outwards of all the equipment, multiple different types. He recommends this because it's easy to install. It's good for the plumbers. You know, as far as the plumbers go, they all like this stuff, the way it works?
They absolutely love it. The other brands that we've tried out, the guys just don't like putting it in because it is more difficult.
Yeah, so as a pool builder, John and I, we've used them all, yeah, John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every single brand out there, we've used them all, and Pentair just seems to be the one that just is the easiest, most functional for the homeowners and the contractors.
So, I mean, a statement from me as a pool builder for all these years, I would say if you're a homeowner and you're looking to build a pool, I would definitely ask the pool builder you're working with what equipment that they use, because Pentair is the best, and if they're not using Pentair for your job, they don't have your best interests in mind. So, Pentair, stick with them for sure.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
With that system over there, there's a total of 7 pumps. It controls all the different features on this pool. This pool was constructed roughly 10 years ago, and it's been operating all of this stuff basically flawlessly for all these years. The pool's kept nice and clean, and what do you think, Noah, as far as the operation of the pool?
Oh, it's extremely easy. Every pump has its own job. It's easy to split stuff up if you actually need to, but you can also do it all individual. It works amazing.
So check out what this stuff can do. We'll show you the pool. So on this raised area back here, we got 2 beautiful 4-foot Pentair shears controlled by the Pentair system. Looks absolutely gorgeous.
As you can see here, we've got a Pentair LED bubbler on the top of this grotto. Creates a great water effect that Pentair created, and we also have Pentair bubblers on the wet deck as well.
This is just sheer beauty of what Pentair can do with the water coming off here. It's gorgeous. You can sit under there and enjoy it like you're sitting in a cave under a waterfall. Doesn't get any better than this. We're gonna do all putting green back over there. This will all be travertine decking. There'll be a real nice barbecue right here. We did stairs on both sides, and it's shallow to deep end down here.
Right.
And they didn't do it super deep. We're only doing 5 feet deep, so the whole pool is all utilized space.
Yeah.
You know, normally people do the shallow end to the deep end from one, like left to right on the lengthwise of the pool, so it's a cool feature here.
Yeah.
Doing the, you know, the deep end long ways.
Yeah.
This is the autofill.
Holy shit, this is autofill.
Boom!
Bam!
Where it's gonna be. Johnny, there's gonna be fire escaping from there. And then over here, John, there's gonna be fire from here as well.
Wait.
Where is it gonna be? It's gonna be right there.
Holy shit!
And a bridge here, not over here, not over here, but right here.
Is that the homeowner right there?
Is it?
I'm just kidding.
So just be all travertine deck. It's some beautiful plants with color. Say hi to the neighbors. They're right here, John.
We're gonna plant all the way across here. All the way. Walk up the entire area.
This will be a putting green. Come on back. This is a very technical job. Clearly, as you can see, all the plumbing pipes, the way it's laid out, it's centered perfectly on his house. It's just like the model home here, which, you know, it's a difficult build, laying it out right and getting everything to look symmetrical. But that's the way we're doing it. We already measured it up. Everything came out perfect. And next phase will be the rough electrical and the steel. And then we call in for the inspection, probably about another week or two. And we'll get this on schedule for shotcrete, which is the concrete shell that goes in here.
Yeah.
So that'll be next. We backfill the trenches and then keep moving along on the job. Here it was just dug. This wire here is a copper wire. It's a ground wire. So this is what grounds the pool. It's connected to the steel frame. We put in all the steel shell. It reinforces the concrete. The concrete goes over this whole steel shell, and that's what creates the pool shell, and that's why it's so rigid and strong. You could basically lift this whole shell most likely out of the ground and it wouldn't even break. That's how strong these concrete pools are. Basically, if lightning hits it, that's what the grounding wire is for. You should still always get out of the pool if there's lightning, but that's gonna save you.
Or if there's any electrical malfunctions with the lights or anything.
Exactly, it'll pop it.
It'll pop it and it'll shut everything down. So
like you see those movies where they're like, that doesn't happen because
that's the way
that
he tried
wire.
to set up my pool, but
I did. I actually tried to nix that. Just go ahead and put that down. Let's put that down.
what?
Put it down.
I'm just moving it out of the way.
Don't joke around with steel, dude. That's not like, you know, karate chop. That's funny. At this point, we haven't yet had the first inspection, so that's why all these trenches have to stay open. A lot of times we'll have homeowners that get real upset because these trenches have been open for a couple, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks now. But there's a lot of work since we dug the pool and opened this trench that has been done. You can see there's open pipes still remaining over there. There's a lot of work that has to be done with different sets of professionals, and we have to schedule them in and out. So sometimes there's a week or even 2 where there's downtime and nothing is happening. So,
And not only that, but the inspections that go along with it.
yeah, the first inspection is coming up. So once they finish this rough electrical, then we can call for first inspection, but the inspector actually has to look in the trench and see that they're deep enough to see that all the electrical and the water pipes are the right depth and they've all been done right and the equipment's been laid right and everything's set to go. As soon as we pass that, we can backfill all the trenches and we do the concrete shell, but we cover all this stuff up. So he's got to see it before we cover it all up. And this is some of the most trying times with clients. It just takes a little longer, but the end product is going to be absolutely amazing with this job. So there's the equipment there, all the lines, and there's where we're at on this job. I'll kind of walk you over here by the spa. So next phase, you'll see us out here at shotcrete. These guys are going to finish up the rough electrical. We'll call for inspection, and then we'll be back out here at shotcrete. So we're moving. Boom! Stop! Till next time. On this project, it took a while to get through the first inspection. There was a lot of details that they wanted on the plan, so there was a little bit of delay there. We had to rework the engineering. You can see they run levels on everything to get the shotcrete, the top edge perfectly right, so all of the pool coping, which is the board of the pool, sits right. And so the tile also is all level all the way around because water doesn't lie. The pool has to be perfectly level and the tile has to be the same height all the way around, because when the final water level is done, if your pool level is off even a little bit, you're able to tell. So every single pool has to be perfect, so the water level sits at the right level on the tile.
Yeah, these crews are very good at setting up the wire lines and everything like that, so then everything will be perfectly level and true to form.
We put up blue tarp all the way around anywhere where they can get overspray, because the shotcrete comes out of a high pressure hose. You're getting a lot of gray in your beard, man.
Oh, I got tons. My hair's almost all gray too.
Yeah, that'll be sweet when it's all whited out. You could come over and be Santa Claus.
That's right.
All right, so we're back. It's around 1 o'clock. We started the shotcrete this morning. We're continuing on. We always come back and check on the shotcrete. There's a lot of things you got to look at. Make sure it's going in right. Make sure all the levels are right. And we'll head back here and take a look. John's not here. I think he had to go get his hair done.
or something. I don't know, for some reason he's not here. I don't know what the problem is. This is the equipment that you use. This is an air compressor. This is what gives the punch and pushes the shotcrete out. And that's a shotcrete pump there. And that's what basically pumps the shotcrete. But you need both to pump shotcrete and get it all the way to the backyard so they can shoot it like a hose. You can see the hose a little bit when it's popping like that. Sometimes it gets a little clogged up. So they got to make sure this hose stays cleared out or it'll start spitting out the other side sometimes. The hose guy's got to be a pretty big husky guy. They got to be, you hold that dang hose all day long and it's not an easy task. I actually talked to John on the phone. He said they're not going to even be half done yet. And I said, no, we need to get out there to take a look. It's going to be almost done. And looks like I'm right. They're almost done. So let's take a look at the wet deck and the spa. So this looks good. You got the spa in this enclosed area in the house. There'll be wet deck that goes all the way out. And then we've got LED laminar spa. Is a triangle shape here. So just to fit this area and give them a little more room around the outsides. This is just gonna turn out beautiful. See, we got a skimmer here, which is what takes the debris off the top of the water. So that'll clean this whole area. And then you come in here and you empty the basket with the leaves and stuff like that. And then this is a straight shot out to the pool, which widens out. And then you'll have the 2 fire features and the centerpiece there. So this is just coming together beautifully. So on stuff like this, I just talked to the foreman on site. And when you do the engineering on pools, the on-site adjustments that need to be made sometimes, depending on jets and the actual real-life shapes of things, you just have to make slight adjustments. So what we did is we moved the little pup step in the spa, which is required by code. We moved it from one side of the spa to the other side, so you'll have the same effect getting in. It's actually better because it's a little closer to the house. And there's jets right where the pup step was going to be, so it'll be much better making that little on-the-fly change. And we just do stuff like that if it makes design sense sometimes. And the homeowners always love those changes because it just makes sense. So you can see when they have a little bit of overspray on the shotcrete right there, it bulks up. It gets to the point where he can move it around. It's not soft anymore. So they just do some by hand. They'll grab it and plop it over there. And they're basically waiting on another truck right now where they move the truck that's empty, that emptied out the shotcrete, and then they back in another truck that's full of shotcrete, and they continue on and finish the job. The floor is always the last thing that they do because they do the walls, and there's a lot that just drops out of the gun and drops on the floor. So they do all the walls and all the fire features and everything first, and then the floor is the very last thing, like I said, that they do, and there's usually enough left over for them to just smooth out the floor and finish it off. At this point of the job, we'll actually go ahead and backfill all the trenches. We do have clients that want the trenches backfilled right away after we get all the piping in, and unfortunately we cannot fill the trenches. We can't backfill them and smooth out your yard until we pass the first inspection. And then we do the shotcrete, and then when the shotcrete is cured, we come back in and we backfill the trenches and we smooth out the whole yard. So it's a little bit of a mess until we're able to do that. As you can see, there's just huge open trenches. Sometimes people have dogs and they want to get their dogs out in the yard, which is understandable, but we just can't ever backfill the trenches until that first inspection is done and the shotcrete is done. So sometimes people become upset about that, and it's just nothing we can avoid. The yard is pretty sweet, so I'm pretty excited about that. It might not show right now, but I would love to be chilling in this backyard. Unfortunately, this isn't my house. All right, so we're back here at the U residence. We're at the tile stage. The shotcrete is all cured up. It's been watered down for about the last 10 days, give or take. What we do is we come around the whole entire edge of the pool and we smooth it all out. This is on the water line because this is where we're gonna lay all the tile. And then the water will come halfway up the tile, and the tile works as the barrier because the water can't go below the plaster. The plaster can't be exposed to the sunlight, but the tile can. So that's why we put the water line tile, and it's also very aesthetic. Sometimes you match the tile colors inside the house.
They have to make it perfectly level because water will find its own level.
Look at this perfect line right here, and this is where that wet deck's gonna be.
That's
this is just
one of the most important
right
parts
here.
of the pool. Right
so when
here.
you're in here chilling, you know, you're relaxing, you look down there and you just see that line, and then that's where all the lighted LED.
It's perfectly lined up. The tile's going to run down each side just nice.
Yeah.
And they're going to have the lights. The guys have it all masked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's very nice. So let's take a look over here. So what he's doing right there, he actually uses the level
to scrape the material off when it's at the perfect point where it's almost dry, and he gets that perfectly smooth all the way down around the entire perimeter of the whole pool. That way the tile goes on perfectly and it's all level and it's all flat as far as surface wise, and it just has a very clean look when you look around the entire pool.
All right, we just got out here to the U residence. We just met with Concrete John, the Mudman, the legend. Been with him for, gosh, almost 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Came out here, we went over some things on the job site.
So this job's coming together real nice. We are finishing up, like I said, the tile and the coping. Once this is done, we're gonna come back in, grade it all out for the deck, get ready for landscaping.
Everything is looking really good on this project, and we'll be back out here tomorrow.
A little history on the Mudman. He actually helped us out with the very first pond John and I built. So John and I were actually holding a book, reading it, how to build a pond. And the homeowner came up and looked over our shoulders and he said, you guys sure you know what you're doing? And we said, sir, we're gonna build this by the book. And that pond, with concrete, John's help, is still running today.
It's still there.
All right, so we're back here at the U residence. We're doing the grading. We have the Type 2 and the white chat, which goes underneath the deck. We've actually just finished up all the travertine decking, and they're working on the grading. It's looking good back there.
We're also getting ready to get started on the putting green. That's also part of the grading. So that's what the guys are going to be working on in the back behind the pool that we talked about earlier.
We use the white chat, which is decomposed granite, compacted. We also use that under putting greens. It's a really hard surface. You can smooth it out. You can create the different pitches on the putting green. It works for multiple different surfaces on top. You put it underneath and it compacts well. So let's go take a look. All right, so we've just finished all the travertine decking. You can walk on it right when it's done. The surface underneath is the white chat. It's nice and compact. And now they're working on the grading for the putting green. They put the Type 2 down first. That's a very inexpensive, compactable dirt and rock mix, so it gets really hard. And then they do the white chat over that, run a couple of stakes, and then they'll run a string, as you can see there, and that's what gets their level. They actually use the level to move the dirt around, and they check it as they go. That's the beginning stages of getting the level for the putting green.
For the putting green, yeah.
We have to come in, you know, stuff like this sometimes. It's very tricky. On the corner here, if you want to take a look, right here, we actually had to measure this piece and cut it so it perfectly fits this. This is all custom craftsmanship, difficult work to do. We come in and we backfill all this with sand to fill in all the little nooks and crannies, but you will have little imperfections like this. Imperfections on a custom cut
Natural stone.
Yeah, natural stone and pavers and natural stone. Those little intricacies that aren't perfect, that's part of the beauty of the craftsmanship. You know, it's a product that's cut by hand and it's all fit together like a puzzle. It's actually what makes it unique and incredible. So that's how you have to look at it at all times when you're dealing with stuff like this.
What we did out here is this travertine decking. Turned out beautiful. It's a French pattern. There's a lot of different shapes and sizes. They put it together and it just creates a different look rather than, you know, just the kind of cookie cutter shapes that, you know, some deckings end up having. We put in a lot of drainage because we're in this courtyard area that are in some of the earlier videos where all the water that drains down here into the courtyard is going to go into all these drains. There's several throughout the yard. And then these drains all lead out on the sides of the house and down the edges, so then there's not, this area can never flood or anything like that if any water ever overflows or anything like that. But I think one of the main features of this yard, not only the French pattern, but then the dark charcoal border, it really sets this area off and it just gives it a different look. And once the plaster's in here and the water and you got the bubbling and the lights and everything like that, I think it's just gonna look fantastic.
We just finished up a beautiful project for Mr. Joe Chabot and his family. It's got a rain descent coming out of the top. There's a wet deck, a spa. You and your team did such an amazing job bringing this to life. We just are so thankful for that.
What we're going to be doing here today is this job is about 80% completion. Dug the hole, we've done all the integral work, electrical, all the plumbing, the shotcrete, the deck. We're finishing up the landscaping, so we're going to go around the entire job and explain different elements of the job, how they were installed, why they were put in the design. We'll basically go through one by one and explain how it all comes together.
All right, let's go check it out.
All right, let's go. We wanted to talk about why we put the spa in this location on the design. You've got total protection from all the elements because it's inside of the courtyard, and you also have really easy access from all the doors, the door there and the door here. They can just walk right out and they can sit in
a nice warm spot.
Yeah, nice warm spot right here. You pretty much have total privacy, which is a concern when you're getting into a spa. There's a nice ground level spa, It's at the end of this long wet deck here.
Get the wet deck for the kids to play in. The kids can play here if you're in the spa, and then you can keep your eyes on them at all times, which is a very important part about pools. All right, we've moved out from the courtyard area over here into the backyard where it continues with the travertine. It's a great product for pool decking. It doesn't allow any water to pool, which can create a slippery surface.
So this is one of the 2 fire features on this swimming pool. We've got the gas line that comes up here in the center, and we also have electrical wiring. So if you see the electrical wiring, that means that there's going to be an electrical start, and they can just hit a button and it starts up automatically.
We're on the back portion of the yard, and we're getting ready to go over the putting green area, and we laid it out for a specific reason. We wanted to keep a low profile on the back of this job because they've got a view of the beautiful Las Vegas Strip over here. So the putting green was a perfect portion to put back here. Nice and level, not too much mounding or anything like that. That would take away from any type of view. And Tim, let's show them how it's done.
So basically, when you're installing synthetic turf, wherever the viewpoint of the back of the house is, you want the turf to lay in that direction when you first put it in, because it naturally is going to lay just a little bit that way even after it's installed. We stand it up and put sand in it, but no matter what, it's always just going to have a little bit of a pitch that way. And when you look at synthetic turf, you always want to be looking into it to where the grass is tilted towards you, because it looks just a little bit nicer. We come around, we use the larger nails to do all the rough turf, which is the edge of the turf. And then we use these smaller nails, which disappear down into the turf. So you'll basically put the edge of the nail here, and you just hammer that all the way in. And then the guys will take these smaller nails, and they'll put them right into the putting green area. So, like that. And then we actually take razor blades, not loose like this, but you take them with, in a clamped holder, and you cut the edge of the turf, and you snug it up to get it as close as possible. Backfill it all with sand, and then there you are. You're putting away. You feel like you're at the course. So. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the installation of the plants on this project. These were special order plants. So what we did to get the job finished and moving along is we went ahead and buried the buckets, and we ran the irrigation to all the buckets along through the entire yard. And what we do...
How many drippers did you put on this one, Tim?
Well, we put either 3 or 4, depending. It's either 2, 3, or 4, depending on the size of the plant. On this one in particular, we did 3 of these smaller 1 gallon per hour emitters, which are ran through a spaghetti tube, and then the spaghetti tube is connected to this larger poly line, which is underneath the rock through the entire yard. We lay all of the decorative rock down. That covers up all the dirt so you don't have dust all over, and it prevents any erosion and gives it a real nice look. Okay, so back out here at the U project, we've pool coated the gate and we've put up the wall, enclosed this in. We do wait till the end of the job to do this because we need this for access. So when we pool coat a gate, we put a screen on here so children have a hard time. It has to open outward also, because if the gate opens inward, kids can reach over. If they lean on the gate, they can get in, and it makes it more difficult. So little kids, if you're short, you can't get in. So that's a safety measure that the city requires us to do. We basically had this screen, we had a cover here, and we put a spring on it. It's got to be self-closing. You let it go, it's got to close itself, as you can see here. The inspector comes out and he'll actually push the gate and make sure it closes itself. So come on in. All right, so we've put in the concrete pathway down the side. We popped it out around the equipment right here, giving a nice flow around the equipment so you can get to your equipment and do some different things. We've started on the barbecue here. It's all framed up. He's got access doors on the outside here so he can get to it. He also has access doors in there. He can store things in here. He has access to his gas line, which that'll be all hooked up pretty soon. We're still waiting on the plant selections from the homeowner. He hasn't made up his mind yet. Sometimes that causes delays, but we can't control that. He definitely wants to get the plants that he wants right, so that's the only thing. As soon as that's done, we'll finish everything up. All right, the spa's all done. The coping's complete. All the decking's in. Got a couple more pots to put in here. Finish off the irrigation. The barbecue's just about done. Past final inspection, which sometimes there's a few delays involved on that. We'll put water in this pool, put the walk pots in, and the plants, and this job is done. So take a look. It looks great. Almost there. All right, we're back out here at the U residence. The job has been 100% completed. We just put water in the pool. We put the walk pots in, filled them with glass, cleaned up the putting green. We put in the triple lights here on his deck on each side to give it the symmetry on both sides. And the job looks absolutely beautiful. Everything's been cleaned up. It looks great.
I think
What do you
it's
think?
coming together really nice. I mean, these lights just really set it off, especially in the evening.
I'll show you the pool after it's originally filled and you do the pool surface. We always leave a brush here. So the homeowner needs to brush the pool to get all the plaster dust up into the water, and then the filter actually cycles it out and pulls all that plaster dust out of the water. So
Exactly.
you just take the brush here. We always leave a long brush. And if you look there, the plaster dust comes up into the water. That's what you need to do on these pools after they're originally done for the first 7 days, or until all the plaster dust has been taken out by the filter. All right, so he's on the other side of the pool now, and you can see the wet deck where the stairs come down.
Stairs are right here.
Yep, right here. So goes into there. There's the spa. There's steps on both sides, and the 2 walk pots. This is a perfectly balanced pool. Again, it goes into the courtyard of the home with the overpass here, and it's just a beautiful effect. All right, keep your eyes closed. Come forward. Come forward. Come forward. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Open your eyes.
Wow.
You like it?
Of course.
It's pretty cool.
Yes.
I think it's absolutely amazing. Are you happy with everything?
Great. It turns out it worked.
Okay, thank you so much for the business, and enjoy. This is yours to enjoy for a lifetime.
Will.
All right, this is another beautiful job. We completed it. Barbecue, deck, pool, and it's a wrap by the Vegas Pool guys. What do you think, Johnny?
Looks fantastic.